written a word that I know you can continue. I've just realised that I've written a word I can't read, and I wrote this literally 10 seconds ago. So that's really great.
What do you think the word says?
Um, Pin string.
Pin string,
Oh, I've got it. I've got it. I've got it. Got
pin
it.
pinstripe.
Welcome.
Welcome. Hello, everyone. How's your brain today? I'm whatever the opposite of firing on all cylinders is. What would that be?
Clutching.
Clutching at a singular straw, and that straw is my last brain cell. That's how I'm doing today. How are you doing today, yo?
And you know what they say?
What?
It's not about showing up on the good days. It's about when you show up on the not so good days that count.
It really is. And me
Yeah.
doing this is offering those that watch the opportunity to reflect that you don't need to be perfect all the time. You can show up in a bin bag. You're still lovable and you're still enough.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's been a week, hasn't it?
Dude, it's been an absolute week. What have your highlights been of this week?
Wow. Wow.
Can we even condense them?
This is the most amazing thing about checking in once a week now with this is that I don't think we realize as a human being or human thing how
Yeah.
much is possible in one week. And we think that we don't have enough time.
Yeah, 100%.
There is so much, there is a year in a week.
Especially right now, the level of growth, at least what that we've experienced, and it's something that I said to you on a voice note a couple of days ago. When you really focus all of your energy on being in alignment with your path and focus as much energy as you can on yourself, the the experiences that you can have in a week, it can equate to what you can do in a year if you're on the right path. That's what it feels like
Yeah,
at the moment. Um,
100%.
so how has your mind and soul and energy felt expanded this week?
Do you know what? It has literally been like, this is the whole thing, I think. Once you realize that actually like time is
Time is
literally
not real.
like what is happening at the moment. This is
Yeah.
time is literally sometimes it's honestly what you make of it, in the sense where I've realized you can sleep 2 hours and it feels like 10. You can live a day or a week and it feels like a year, which is what we're continuously experiencing.
Every
I think because we're open. I'm literally open to the madness now,
same.
because there's almost no, I'm like, I'm not, I don't have any expectation or a shape. So I wake up in the day and I'm like, give it to me. Give it to
Yeah.
me how you want it, because I'm not in control of this and I don't want to be.
Yeah.
And it's like, let's see. And like you said, we had this conversation where we were like, it's it's gonna feel like 3 years is gonna pass in this year.
Yeah.
For some of us who choose for that space to happen. And that's like not going, I don't have time to
Mhm.
reach my goal. It's like, says who? Says who to any of that?
I honestly think at the moment, if you're open and receptive and you can feel a pull in a particular direction, just trust it. Because there are unexplainable, at least from our experiences, kind of energies at the moment that will pull you towards experiences that are meant for you. And if you get clearer, just like you said a few weeks ago, on your wants and your needs, watch how quickly those things start showing up in your environment if you really focus on them quicker than you can imagine.
Totally. Because if you box yourself into anything, you are literally closing any like window and door to any other possibility apart from a structured, shaped possibility that you've decided is perfect for you and you don't even know it.
Yeah,
We don't
completely.
know we don't know what's actually perfect for us. So many of us at the moment, actually, I'm realizing, I'm asking clients and friends, I'm like, what do you want for like the end? What do you want for this year?
Yeah.
And
Um,
people are like,
um,
I don't know.
yeah, so many people say that.
Yeah.
because but same as us. Like it was only recently in the last few months I've started asking myself these questions again because of the amount of autonomy and coming back to myself I've experienced. But for the longest time I was still in the consciousness of like life is happening to me and I experience it, but I don't have any control over its shape, really. I just let it play out. We're in a system that is suppressive, and I've just got to pay my bills and I've got to survive. I was in survival mode for many years. And when you come out of survival mode, by the way, you don't have to be rich to come out of survival mode. It's a mindset. You don't have, it's like, oh, well, I'll come out of survival mode. Like, no, it's a nervous system. And I'm not shaming anyone who's in survival mode. At the end of the day, if your body feels like you're in danger, you can't actively change that quickly. But it's absolutely a mindset that you can shift over time. And so many of us are in prisons of our own making with the limiting beliefs that build our reality. It's crazy how we've known. I feel like we've really known this. This has flashed back to me over the years. I knew this somewhat in my 20s. I did know this was a thing, but I don't know about you, but for me, I kind of just lost it again. And now the understanding of, oh, this is a playground is like really strong in my energy again.
It's like a known hell is easier than an unknown heaven.
Yeah. What is
It's
that quote? It's unfamiliar. A familiar hell is better than an unfamiliar heaven. Yeah.
it's just you get wrapped in this cycle, and if you're told that the only option is, why would you deviate if you want to play by the rules? So I think there's a part of us that was always
Yeah.
almost like a bit rule breaky, let's say, but instead
Mm.
of choosing self growth as the rule break was almost just being chaos. So staying up too
Yes.
late and being like,
Rebelling.
I'm staying up late.
Yes.
I'm gonna watch
That's
this
such a
instead
good
of doing.
point.
And actually, like we, things like
Wow, that's such a good
studying. Like studying now has a different meaning. Studying isn't studying subjects we don't want to do. Studying is like studying the tools that are going to better our lives.
hmm
Well into that, mate. I'll do it 5 hours.
And some of the things you've been sending me recently, like the podcasts, and just it's all mind expanding, and they're tools that are going to amplify your direction forward. It's education that is for the betterment of you, you know.
And that, I think, for ourselves and the people who are going to be watching this as well,
Mm.
are going to be in a similar realm to us, where that is nerve regulating to me.
Mm.
I don't feel othered now watching these things. I'm like, oh, okay. That's why time disappears when I talk to people about things I care about. That's why when we
Wow.
met for lunch, that time was
Mhm.
like 5 hours in a half an hour,
Yeah.
or it felt like 10 seconds, because you're in the stream of something beyond
Yeah.
time.
Time is
Um,
amazing.
totally. And today, what I made sure, I'm segueing into this just so that we have like mild structure, only because I know that
We need
you,
it.
well, we need it, but also I know how much cellular and timeline shifting you've been on today specifically. And I want to make sure that we're adequately dopamine excited. So I feel like this is going to help, because like
Yeah.
I can't
Yeah.
wait to ask you questions, basically, because I feel like you specifically this week, there
Yeah.
was a moment when you came to see me at the studio and I fell to my knees and I cried with laughter. This is like your life at the moment. I literally fell to my knees and I cried. Like it was like I couldn't. It was the funniest thing. Anyway, so I'm going to ask you a few questions, and then I want you to kind of basically explain what's changed, because last week there was a lot of questioning where you were, whereas
Mm.
now I don't think there's a question. So I'm going Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
now
yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah. And just
So
before you ask the question as well, it's just so interesting how from the first podcast we've done, so this will be our fourth, you can even see it if you watch back a tiny clip of each, how energetically different we are in 4 weeks. It's
wild.
crazy. Yeah, go ahead.
Wild. So what I've written here is taking action,
Mm,
willing to receive are two separate things, right?
yes.
So I want to hear a little bit about you with taking action. What action have you taken? But where have you been willing to receive? And how is this affecting your current timeline shift?
So there's, yeah, it's both of those things. The timeline shift is happening because of both of those things in parallel. And I think you want to call it manifestation, or like the two parts of creating that ideal reality are those two things in action and allowing them to flow together. So a small example is, it's not really a small example, it's a big deal. I took action the week before last and I released my book into the world, and I shared it with everyone, and it was a really beautiful moment. And then I had a choice on that moment when I released it to either keep refreshing, watching how many people have liked it, get anxious about if anyone was going to comment. And instead, I released it into the world. And I said, I dropped my phone. I didn't even check my phone when I first shared it. And I said, whoever whoever this book is meant to reach, I know that it's for their highest good. I am so proud of myself and excited for this to be out in the world, and I'm open to receive opportunities that come from this action that I've taken. And there were a few other affirmations that were like that. So it was very much, I just allowed the energy to go out, dropped my phone and carried on my day. I'm going to end up working backwards on this, but this is like the most recent kind of synchronicity that's happened to me. And then today I went into a cafe local to you. And the only reason I went there is because of a synchronicity that happened last week, which
Tell it,
I,
tell it. Yeah, I'm like, tell it, tell it. Yeah, you
okay,
have to
cool.
tell it.
Okay. So I'll tell that one. So I was meeting you to have my identity shifting hair and conversation, and it was like a special time for us to hang out last Friday. And then I knew that I was meeting you at your salon. I knew that, but for some reason, half an hour before, my brain decided to forget. I ended up going to your house. You weren't there. You and the pizza were at the other place. My phone didn't have any signal, so I couldn't get hold of you. So I ended up having to go to a random cafe close to you for Wi-Fi signal. I walked in and I was like, sorry, like, has anyone got any Wi-Fi? Like, and I'll buy a coffee. So the owner came and talked to me and he was like, yeah, buy a coffee. Are you from round here? And we started to talk, and turns out that they played Great Escape Festival many years ago. And I said, oh, no way. Like, what band were you in? At the same time, I was kind of doing stuff. And then we ended up sharing Instagrams before I left. And this is a big one. I shared my Instagram and said, this is who I am. And he looked at me, he held his heart, and he just started to cry. And it turns out a couple of years ago, like, he was really welling up, and I was getting emotional by his reaction as well. But 2 years ago, he'd reached out and it never happened. He was requesting if we could maybe do an EP together and like record music together. And it turns out that this person has a music studio underneath the cafe, and he straight up offered me that space for free. And from April, I'm looking for a space to host artists, to continue to actualize this free path that I'm walking on, the whole path that disappears thing. And it just felt so spiritual and synchronistic, that moment of him recognizing, and for him to have an emotional reaction like that was like a really big deal, because I felt some sort of recognition with him as well. So name that whatever you want. It felt very personal to me. It felt like an important moment for me, that my curiosity was like, you need to, and my intuition was like, you need to follow this a little bit more. Then I ended up coming to you, and then we ended up crying and laughing. And so
Yeah, because we'd spoken about, like, you know, how you're not going to have funds when you start this. You're not going to know where you're going, but you knew it was April and you knew
and I
what
was
you need,
open to receive.
and you were
I was
specific but
asking.
open. Yeah.
Yeah. I was asking, I was like, okay, I don't know what's going to happen in April. I trust that the resources that I need, funding if that's necessary, the space will show up and come. And it was that, and in line with that. And I'm also, I don't want to be delusional for anyone listening. Like, there are certain things, like my 10 plus years of history in Brighton, that have helped with those connections, but it doesn't need to be as extreme as that. It can be small things as well. But I've had a similar thing with a studio in London, and I've been offered that space for free as well. But then, so I went back to that cafe today, and it was quite busy, so I couldn't speak to him straight away, and I was waiting for you, and it was quite busy, and he was like, just take a seat. Ended up sitting that down next to a filmmaker, and had a long conversation with them, ended up swapping Instagrams. And the continuous thread of this and these opportunities that have come in the last 2 weeks is that I am open, I am curious, I'm asking questions, I'm being social, even as I am actually an introvert, but I'm being present with these portals. I was going to call them people, but these are portals, right? They really are. It's mad. My brain is just and I ended up speaking to this filmmaker, and we followed each other, and we had some incredible conversations. And at the end of the conversation, it was perfect. We were just wrapping up the conversation. He asked the last question, which was, what have you got in the pipeline? And I said, well, 2 days ago, I released my first book, and it's called The Music Producer's Handbook, and it's a translation guide for creative minds to understand music. And someone just tapped me on the shoulder, who was sitting next to me, and they're like, sorry, I've just had my headphones out for like the last 5 seconds, and like, I just heard you say something, and I feel really pulled to talk to you. And I turned around, and it's an artist who may even watch this episode. They've started to follow me now, who is at a threshold in their career where they feel they need support when it comes to performance, when it comes to nervous system regulation, when it comes to visibility as an artist, and also the tools to empower themselves as an artist and a producer. Very specific need, and such a specific need that I happen to have all the answers for. So we ended up talking, we exchanged details, we might go for a coffee or have a Zoom. But that's just to end that story. If you get really specific about what you want, and really specific about what you can offer, write it all down and keep refining, the portals that enter your life will be as refined and as clear. There'll be no vagueness, there'll be less chaos, it will be simple. And it's the only way I can describe it is like, it feels, when these moments happen, and I've had two, obviously I'm getting used to them, so there's this bubbling joy and bliss that comes through my body, but also there's this peace and this presence, because it feels, you'll know when you're in flow, and I'm sure you can attest to this, because it feels so right in your body. And that's my story from the last couple of weeks.
So great. So great.
Yeah.
It's meeting people in your vibrational frequency, because you're vibrating at that frequency. And like you were saying about, be specific of the shape, and then it's live as the shape.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't be like, I'm a green what I'm giving is green triangle with 3 yellow dots and a red line through the middle, and then you go out being like a purple circle.
Yeah.
It's like you have to embody it.
Embodiment not being fragmented, being as coherent as you can with your inner and outer reality. The more you put those two together, that's such a good description that you've just made. If you're parading as a purple circle on the outside when you know that's not what's going on in the inside, you are going to continue to reflect chaotic, fragmented experiences. And when you really line up here with here, it starts to become so much more simple.
Yeah. Or as simple as you'll just attract loads of purple circles and you'll be there going, what the hell am I doing around purple circles?
Yeah, right.
So you're being a purple circle.
Yeah, that's why.
Wow. And I love, like, with you saying about being coherent and really present,
Mm.
because you're answering coherently and presently, people are being more coherent and present with you. So people are hearing you who are meant to hear you. And it's not by accident, and it's not by accident that I got my flat. The reason I got my flat is wild. I didn't even know I was going to move house. One day I woke up bolt upright and I was like, I must move. And I didn't know why. And 2 weeks later I moved, and it's through a client who literally I spoke to a client of mine and they were like, oh, I've got a flat, do you want that? I was like, yeah, I do actually.
Yeah.
Knew it was my home as soon as, every day I'm in here and I'm like, what? Like, how did I manifest this? Like, the perfect, it's everything I needed and wanted.
And your answer to that is it because on that day when you were speaking or the days leading up to it, had you felt that you were being open to receive? Was there any kind of conscious, like, I'm open to whatever is coming?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That morning I woke up
There we go.
and I had a second viewing and I was like, I just know that I'm going to see my house today. How cool
Wow,
is that?
that's
And
incredible.
I could see an olive tree. And I was like, weird, because there isn't an olive tree at this
Yeah.
place, but whatever, there's an olive tree, great. And they cancelled the viewing. And I was like, that's absolutely fine, no worries. And I was like, how funny. I thought I was gonna anyway, whatever. Cool, cool. And then I turn around and my client goes, did you just say you're looking for a flat? Come round later, open the door, olive tree.
Yeah, you couldn't make it up.
And then I move there, and then you go to find me, and I'm not there. But that's where the cafe is. But do you see?
Yeah, the
We only
connection.
started hanging out recently as well because I bumped into Tash because I felt really isolated. I needed community. Tash was hosting a group community. We reconnected. Everything, every person we talk to when we're really being in alignment with ourselves and true to how we're feeling. If I didn't tell Tash, that I was like, oh, feeling a bit, or I didn't say to myself that day when I was in my flat and I was like, I need to move. And it wasn't fueled by emotion. This is the difference with alignment and reactivity, I think. Where did I write it? Taking action, willing to receive. There was something about reactivity, but it's not about this like stuff this house. I need to leave with emotion. I just literally was like, oh, I have to move. I think that inner knowing and the olive tree, it's not about it being this like forced. When you're really in alignment and when you're really in your place, like when like today, I bet today you just were, and
I,
it was,
I was I was were and more some, if that makes sense. That's the weirdest sentence I've said.
yeah, like
I
activated,
I
but
was open, receptive. I felt magnetic. I was feeling myself. I felt joyful, and that radiated out in terms of opportunity. It came back as opportunity.
and it's as soon as we question, then it's actually just that we're not in a space that is activating that within us. And it can be as simple as, logically going, like, and I had it the day before. There was a moment when I reacted to something. Something triggered me. And I was like, oh, that's not good. That's
Mm.
not great. And I remember having to go for a walk. And what it ended up bringing me to was a space of realizing that, like, for myself anyway, again, I'm never going to say this is like for anyone else, but when I feel too much about a thing, that's when I will spiral and I will feel into something as it being fact, and I try to fix things by helping, when actually all that needs to happen, again, let's say it's taking action and willing to receive. So what's the opposite of those two is not taking, freezing almost, right? And willing to receive is trying to fix. So if you're just trying to fix something and staying still, does that make sense? Because I was there being like, shit. And I was like, how do I? But I couldn't take action because I was like, and then I almost was like, do you know what? Do you know what? Like, this is also part of the process. And I remember having, so this was probably, what's this like? Not yesterday. This was yesterday.
This was yesterday.
This was yesterday. But what it brought me to, and I don't know why I'm interjecting in this of you saying that, but I think it's almost like the feeling that you had today, right? Is this like, it's whole. You're kind of being like, and you're whole, you're activated fully as a human being.
Yeah.
And I think we can fragment ourselves. So you're still whole when you're doing that, but it's like this orb ends up being, it's like shattered. And it's almost like a separation from
fragmentation.
Yeah.
And just as a final note on that, it's like it was almost like a few topics ago, but I've kept it in my mind. I do wonder, like, beliefs and wants and needs, like say your need of wanting more community or like your want of whatever it may be. I feel as though the same way that you're finding with identity stuff and the name and clothes, your needs and wants vibrate at particular frequencies. They are connected to emotion. And I think it's something, and I'm going to have to do more research, and you've got enough podcasts to share with me about this, but it's connected to quantum physics. And there is frequencies to our needs and wants. And when we're vibrating at that frequency, we invite in those who are other portals that are on the same frequency as us. And I just find that so affirming and fascinating and reassuring.
Amazing. And I think like with what you experienced, because I have these two pictures in my head of like the orb that's full lit and the orb that's shattered. I don't think either of them are right or wrong. I just think what we do is we are like vibrational atoms.
Yeah.
That
particles are floating about.
Right. And maybe it's sometimes we go through that breaking stage to find the right places to know that spaces, say, for example, aren't right. Or even there are, that could have even just been, and I'm telling myself this out loud because I'm having the download now as we're speaking. That was one of the old patterns that I was letting go of. And I couldn't.
What is the pattern? If you could give it a sentence.
My worth is only when I'm useful to someone or something else.
Yeah. And that the more you say that and repeat it, the more it shows up.
Right.
In reality, the more you focus on it, you'll get more information that affirms your godly thoughts.
And it was like that realization that is not anyone's only, that is not our only time that we are loved and necessarily and useful. And in proof is where you were today, you went just as you, and you being there was enough. And that is the difference between a broken orb and an orb that's like... But we do all have to go through it, don't we?
100%. And just because I was a full orb today doesn't mean in 2 days it might broken orb all over the shop, It's integration. It can take a long time.
Yeah, so true. And actually this segues perfect to the next thing, which I believe has been for both of us. We had a conversation at the end of last week about this. I feel like we both said, but again, we say things and it just becomes us instantly. The power of affirmation, we've spoken about that already, and we speak about it a lot.
Yeah.
But I remember us saying to each other that we were going to do 30 days of waking up in the morning and saying an affirmation in the morning. Or maybe that's something I said to you, or you already do this.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be happy to do an accountability club and make that happen. I can't remember us talking about it,
I'll see
but
if
it
I can
sounds,
find it in the chat. It
yeah,
sounds like something we
it sounds
said.
like something we would have said. Yeah,
I'm also not sure at this point either.
yeah,
But
love that, love that.
but how do you feel currently, like with your affirmations specifically, and what affirmations? Because I think you said one earlier about receiving the people that need,
Can I read some of the
please
affirmations
do.
that I'm reading at the moment? And for those that are listening, if any of these resonate, it doesn't have to be about a particular thing that you're releasing out into the world. It can kind of relate to anything. But when I put my book out, which is only a couple of days ago, I said, where the bloody hell are they? I've probably written them down in my cool. This is just specifically about my book. My book is released in perfect timing and it lands exactly where it's meant to. I had proof of that today. The right readers find my book with ease, excitement, and emotional resonance. Makes me emotional saying emotional resonance because especially today I really felt that resonance with someone, and I think the word resonance was even used within our conversation. My words activate, heal, inspire, and stay with people long after they turn the last page. And the trick is as well, when you say them, like really feel it and believe that it is truth. It is your truth. When I first read these yesterday when I was knackered at 8 p.m, I didn't believe them. I was kind of pacing in the loo and I was like, I don't, and it took me 3 or 4 times to really kind of get them. A big one is I trust my voice, I trust my work, I trust the impact. Also the last one is this is only the beginning. Momentum builds naturally from here. The last closing one is I release attachment to outcome and I remain open to magic, which
Mm.
is a really beautiful one. So those are the ones for my book, and there's two on the board which are a bit bigger and probably a little bit more vague, but I think for me, and I'm very artistic and creative like you are, I like making meaning of things all the time, and I'm constantly trying to work out the meaning of why I'm here, the meaning of life, my direction. And I love trying to get more and more specific for why I'm here. So I put a couple on the two on the board. And these are just a few, like I'm here for loads of reasons, but this feels most resonant for me right now. I'm here to model and transmit embodied truth and to make it safe, desirable, and powerful for others to do the same. I'm here to anchor authenticity into the body and then amplify it through art, leadership, and service. I love those two, and I really believe it. I believe that's part of why I'm here, and I'm hoping the more I say, so I say those every morning, and I'll probably say
Wow.
the book ones every morning. Um, I would like to think that it will offer me more of that direction, and a trick and a trick one. It's not a trick one, but ones for those of you that really want to try this affirmation stuff out. Ask, let's call it the universe. Connect to it and just say, show me how good this can get. Let's crank it up. Show me how good it can get and watch what happens. That's my affirmation
And
sharing.
be careful
Be
because it's
careful, be
coming.
careful. Yeah, yeah, actually you're gonna want to rein it in.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Show me how good this can get. I said that
Yeah.
today. I was like, yeah, this was an amazing day, but like show me how abundant things can get. Like, let's crank up the container to £5,000 more a month. Or whatever, if it's financially, or it can be anything. But you can start to train your body and mind to hold more abundance over time.
The audacity of it all.
It's fucking audacious.
Isn't it? And this is it. Like you will, and this is to the person listening, to
Yeah.
you right here, to
Mm.
me, we literally bring it in.
Yeah.
We bring it in, we create it.
Show
We
me
are,
your hand tattoo.
oh,
The other one. Don't forget, everyone.
yeah. But also, where did I saw something. No, it was in a podcast I was listening to today about separation of being God in other people's lives. So, yes, we are God, but also
Wow.
And you know what I'm like when I
Yeah.
care about, like, I care about people. And again, this goes back to what I was saying my worth is. I can offer the tools and I can offer myself, but I can't to the extent of someone else not doing the work.
Yes.
So I can't play God for anyone else.
No, you don't need to.
You just give what you are
Mm-hmm.
and you go, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
This is how I did this. Give that a go, see how it works, and you release any expectation of anyone else because
Amazing.
I can't have 1,000 children. This is where my love at the moment, I believe, has been going. Is just making sure everyone's okay, and that's that's meaning that I haven't been looking after the kid because all of us really we don't. Again, the whole thing with time and age. Our soul is our soul. There are elements of us that will always be that kid, will always be that teenager, will always
Yeah.
be the archetypes of our lives.
Mm.
So I don't need to mother anybody anymore ever again. I just need to check in with that kid version of myself who's bratting. I've been a brat today. I have been the most bratty, like I can't believe it. Just like getting rid of like things from the past, but being like, oh, I don't want to though.
Yeah.
Do I have to do this?
Yeah.
Like, just, you know, and that is where I need to parent myself. Or if I hurt, and I'm just like going to segue back to emotions because I caught this and I wrote it down when you were talking about your affirmations.
Mm.
Um, Realizing that I wasn't particularly nice to myself earlier when I was talking about emotions and I was saying about reactively emotion, like being reactive to things with emotions as a
Mm.
negative thing.
Mm.
Wow. I suddenly realized that actually I'm still, because of what I've learned,
Uh-huh.
that my emotions are difficult and they're not. They're
No.
actually why we're all alive.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
emotions is what makes us remember things.
Yeah.
It's, you remember something when you're sad, you remember something when when
Yeah.
you're struggling or when it's happy and joyous, or, you cry at a movie. So I'm going to say that.
There's so you're learning so like the obviously shedding is the word that we keep using at the moment, especially, but for you to be untying these last few beliefs that keep you tied to your old self at this
Mm,
time is really powerful, because in a couple of weeks, or it could be take a little bit longer, when that integration period has ended, you're going to be able to walk forward without any of your old self left to hold you back, like the one that only fully integrates their worth when you're helping others, um can not entirely go, because obviously service is part of you moving forward, but it's how
mm,
you, and we've spoken about this a lot, and I think we're both similar in this way. We're offering service in a different way. It's tool offering. I don't even want to use the word boundaries. It's more just like being present, knowing that there's a start and end to
mm.
your presence in that person's life. Portal to portal, exchange of information, separate ways.
Human centipede portal, portal to portal.
I'm gonna at the end. I'm gonna edit the podcast about how many times I've said portal. It's gonna be one of those edits that's like portal, portal, portal,
Portal,
portal.
portal. Amazing. Um, what was I going to say? I was going to say something before that. Um, Flip, it's gone.
I'm loving how deep we're getting into
Yeah,
real shit today.
because it is so important, isn't it? It's so
It's
important that
everything.
we're able to like have these spaces
Mm.
because in reality, going like deeping everything all the time when you're in real life, you kind of can't. It's actually too much for people.
Yeah.
It's, you don't want to be like, hello, Sandra, really nice. Yeah, can I get some bananas and some peanut butter? By the way, are you having an existential crisis today? Because I can see a twitch in your eye. You're right there. And then, Like
By the way, your
sometimes,
thoughts create your reality. Bye.
yeah. Happy thoughts, but also toxic positivity.
Yeah,
Woo!
no, yeah,
It's all about, isn't it? It's like it's meeting it's meeting the versions of you and just knowing that like some parts of them don't have to come to this next bit. And if they are going to come, they can be a little bit smaller and like memorable and tucked away and safe and there.
but
You
not
know, the
your reality.
completely. And I think, you know, I used to need somebody to reassure me that my feelings weren't going to kill me. And now I've
Wow.
realized that my feelings are so powerful,
Mm.
hilarious,
Hmm.
really valid actually from what things, and this is what all of us have been through. Your feelings are really valid. If you feel insane and you want to throw things across the room, you probably went through a thing that made you feel like you wanted to throw something across the room.
Yeah.
It's not about someone saying that you're wrong, but if you just notice where you're starting to feel feelings and move your body and have a chat to yourself and be like, that's actually all right. And
Yeah.
what I'm realizing now is we are offering service not to be loved, but we are offering service because we are love.
Yes. Yes.
I,
It's a
I,
huge shift.
I don't need anything in return.
No.
I just need to be able to live, to be able to offer the things.
Yes.
And to just land in that means that I'm open to receive the tools to be able to
To do
offer
that.
the things,
Yeah.
which is why, and I've been researching a lot about partnerships because I've been single for so long. And
Mm.
that's been because I've been protecting people from my feelings because I haven't thought that I can give enough to be loved. What am I talking about? Like everyone is lovable.
Everyone is lovable, but this is huge. This is huge realizations that are coming up for you. Yeah, to really recognize that you and all your feelings and all of it is lovable and enough, especially at this time. And the whole service thing I find so interesting as well. Or just that change from over functioning and service to be needed and to be loved, and that
And
being, yeah,
can you see that as well in like, because I see it with you so much, like your frequency isn't, and not that you were from lack, but I see your frequency now is like, I cannot wait for people to be where I'm at and not have to go through that 10 years and having to go through all that to learn. And then you now have this book to be like, okay,
yeah. And
how
even
great is that?
it's incredible. And even today, the person that I met and connected with, they said to me like, so they put it so simply, like you're teaching what you know. And
Mm.
there's so much in that sentence because there's a decade and plus worth of experience and suffering and with mentorship especially, it's almost, especially when it's kind of almost, it's not spiritual mentorship, but it's embodied. There's deeper layers to the mentorship that we're offering. It's transformational whether we like it or not. It makes me feel reassured, almost like all of that suffering, and I'm talking suffering for us both, has not been for nothing.
Mm.
Like we've faced like such darkness within ourselves and within our external experience, as we all do. Um, but it's all lined up to be able to offer a very particular love and service. And when you um, continue to talk on stages, and that's part of your work, I can see that for you. You can just show up as yourself, and just your frequency in itself and you talking about your experiences will be enough to make other people feel coherent and supported.
Yes.
And
And to
that's
see,
amazing.
it's like seeing by being.
Yeah.
And like this is again
Yeah.
segue to the perfect thing of what I'd written down.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about trusting self and timing.
To be honest, this is going to be a 2-second talk. Learn to trust yourself, learn to trust the timing. um, and it's not as simple as that. But self-trust is something, in my experience, that has to be built truthfully in the body through experiences. It isn't something that you just wake up at 22 and have full self-trust. Some people do, but I do feel as though to really embody it, there are tools and like nervous system, practices and embodiment practices, somatic practices you can do, and affirmations, and there's all these technical skills, but nothing quite beats like life experience. Self-trust can be, this actually, let me download what's happening now. Self-trust can be found in the small decisions that you make every day that build discipline. If you choose to do your laundry at a particular time every week, if you choose to wake up at the same time every single day, if you choose to go to the gym every day and do these little small things to offer yourself love and respect, that builds self-trust. The other way you can build self-trust is going out into the world and facing things that feel scary. Going into a room, and for me, teaching a private student for the first time when I was 26 or however old I was, to then scaling that to teaching rooms, to then scaling that to teaching assemblies or whatever. That's just one mode. You start to have these experiences and your body goes, I survived that. And then I've also had it with relationships. I've had two large relationships. Let's call them large relationships. One in particular that as it was ending, I didn't think I was going to survive it. And I did. That's built more self-trust. How would you describe self-trust?
So currently, self-trust to me is knowing that all the stupid decisions that I've made up till this point have been perfect.
Yeah.
Even the things that I'm like, baptize me in something that takes it all away. But I still fully love and accept that the old version of me would have said, what a waste of time. I'm now like, I trust that it led me here to this exact point and this exact moment, and whatever is happening in the future. And then it goes back to what you were saying about trust. If I honor myself and trust myself in the disciplines that I know I should really be doing.
Yeah.
So it's like, trust the past, trust the future. And then like you were saying about being in the present, it's like I got some Velcro weights because I can't hold things because of my wrists with hairdressing, and I've got a few little nerve problems which I go into. But having these Velcro weights, I'm doing all this. I've gone like proper, like I'm old auntie in the park right now. And I knew when I saw them on Facebook Marketplace, I was like, they're for me. Went to get them, messaged. It was a client of mine.
No, shut up.
Yeah.
In Brighton. Wow.
Yeah. In the depths of Kent Town.
Wow.
And she was like, oh my God, you've cut my hair loads. How are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. You could just transfer me. I was like, nah, it's cool. Like, and I went and she left it in the pot. It was just lovely. And now I know who owned them before. Like, we know everything. Like, when you're talking to that person you're dating and you're like, oh, I just don't know. That's trust.
That's
trust. Know if you're meant to be with them, really. You know if you eat that thing and it's going to make you sick. If you overeat, you're going to feel rubbish in the morning. If you don't do the exercise, you're going to feel bad. And that I think is trust. That like, I just want to be a bit of a silly goose about it because I've left my washing up for like 2 days. It's chaos over there. I know
Same.
that I would have felt better if I did that this morning, but I was being a brat. I was being a brat this morning and I was doing my weights. I was cranking some music, dancing around, cleaning, but I just kept putting off the washing up. But I know that, and again, going back to what you were saying about these things, I light a candle. I listen to a podcast. I always listen to Blind Boy, my guy, our guy. I mean, he's like literally the Messiah to me. And I put Blind Boy on, or another something that's like philosophical, but it doesn't need to be so learny.
Yeah.
And I'll put a candle on, and I'll have the fire, and I'm doing the washing up because I don't really have a view in this kitchen. But then it makes it a lovely thing, and that's what I need, for example, to do the washing up and it be enjoyable. So I think almost like it's trusting yourself that sometimes you will need an incense on, or you will need a lower light. I think that's trusting as well.
Those small things. And I want to ask you one more question about self-trust for you. When you got asked to do a talk recently and you were on the stage for a talk, or when you get asked to do a production, or you get asked to do a photo shoot that's kind of mad, like in terms of the scale of some of these opportunities you've had, when you walk into those rooms, what is it? Why do you trust yourself?
Interesting question.
And do you trust yourself when you're walking into those rooms when it's about to start?
Fully. I have no fear whatsoever.
Right.
No anxiety.
To know why that is.
I don't plan. I don't.
Where's that trust from?
The audacity.
Yeah.
Saint audacity.
Yeah.
Probably from another timeline. I've been there before.
Yeah.
I have this saying that I have with a friend of mine, and I don't know if I've said this to you, so I should have let that land for a second.
No, sorry, no. It opened up about 6 different timelines for me.
Right.
So I was just thinking. I'm just looking at my guitar behind me, but like any time that I've performed at a particular show that's considered a big show, the fear just evaporates, and it feels as like I've either been there before, or it just feels like it's part of a past life, or like these things almost feel so integrated into who we are and what we're meant to be here for, that the fear goes, because spirit, or whatever you want to call it, comes through. But anyway, you were saying,
when you perform, something happens molecularly to every living thing, water, plant, mineral in the room. Any time that I've been in a room with you singing, I'm like shook. I'm shooketh. I heal.
I feel it. I feel the room change. Like it's like there's a crunchiness that turns to peanut butter. Like that there's a change, and so many artists have the same feeling.
And what cracked me up with you is that you're like, it's this like, ooh, right?
Yeah.
And then you're like, anyway, lads. It's the perfect. I've never been held in a space that is so buttery, and it's like, that was a bit nice, wasn't it? You're so casual with it.
Yeah.
It's you being, and you're so funny without even. Oh, I can't wait to see you perform again. I can't wait.
It's going to be a whole different level, my friend.
It really fuck. Unblock all your exes for that.
I'm gonna do a live stream with all of the unblocked people. But that came up because we were just talking about self-trust with visibility. But like when you're on stage and it's connected to visibility, or sometimes with the shoots not so much, but there is, for anyone else, for many people walking into those rooms, they would want to collapse, they would feel pressure, they would feel like they'd want to run away. You steam ahead with no fear. And
I'm gonna have to put a link, I think, for the neuro curious chat I did for womanhood.
Yeah, please put a link. I'll add the link to the YouTube description.
Yeah. And I literally I showed up, and it was pure channel. It was channeled.
Of course it was.
It was wild. I think I literally called the whole crowd losers. And I said, have you ever thought you're a loser? I was like, I thought I was a loser and I had no friends, but guess what? You're all my friends and you're all a bunch of losers. I was like, what am I doing? It was wild. And
Yeah.
but I feel so at peace receiving a lot of attention. And I think this is something I've suppressed for a long time. And this is why I became a hairdresser, because I get focused attention.
Yeah.
Now, this has never been enough. One-on-one for me, great.
Yeah.
It's great, but I don't think I'm meant to just have one room, one person, one-on-one, leave one. It's too fragmented.
And I
There's
wonder, with the career you've had so far, you've done a lot of that. And I do think none of that has been like to waste or like in the wrong timing. It's almost like built up your skill set to now come into this. It's almost like this pyramid, isn't it? Of like
yeah,
something that you can, and for those listening, maybe, or, you know, assumptions can be made of like, I feel so at peace with loads of attention on me. The way that you're describing it is from a calling, purposeful place. Like it feels, correct me if I'm wrong, but when you're on stage and you've got lots of energies at you and you're channeling, it feels purposeful.
yes, it's not ego. So for
No.
you'll see it on
Yeah.
the. I think I've got two.
It's soul rather than ego.
It's interesting. It's like, it's not that I want attention, like I want attention for
You.
people to be. It's like what you were saying about the room goes buttery.
It's the message.
Something about what comes out, and when I have focus,
Yes.
so it doesn't happen. Like when I'm standing in a room talking to myself, it's channeled, of course, but there's something that will happen when you're, and same with myself.
Yes.
And I did a talk about emotions, which
Mm.
I'll find a poem at some point. And this was one of my first things that I did at She Speaks.
Mm.
And I had a shaved head and I spoke about the power of emotions. Oh my God, segue back to me saying my emotions are, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
If I need to reread that. And everything fell apart. The microphone, I took my hoodie off, I fell over. Everyone was in hysterics. Everything that's bad could have happened.
Yeah.
There was like the microphone, and it was like made this noise. I was shocked by it. I like, that's what I fell. And anyway, and then my phone ran out of battery.
No.
And then, oh my God. And then I was like, blah, blah, blah. Can I get my thing off of your phone? And his ex was sitting in front of me. So she thought that I was
Dating.
correct, which I wasn't. He was like a bestie. Flip.
Oh my
It
God.
was unreal. So then she leaves. Oh, it was drama. So I'm there going, I'm like, anyway, emotions. And then this guy comes over to me at the end, and he goes, oh, that was great. I cried. And he goes, I am on mushrooms though. And I was like, yeah. I was like, wasn't quite meant to be a comedy sketch, but come back after the break and I'll do the rest.
But can I just add, there's something about your comedy value that comes through. Like even when you've just said that story now, there's such an enjoyment that you get from speaking with comedy infused. And I also feel like that is a frequency thing as well, because your laughter is the quickest way to make people feel at ease and regulated and receptive. So
Yeah,
I don't think it's a coincidence that the way you channel has some humor in it.
totally. And I'm about like, I think this is what works really well. It's like everyone has their spirit animal, don't they? And I just
Mm.
really believe mine's a llama. And it works so well because like I'm going up on stage and I'm not like, hey, so I'm literally like, all right, all right. It's perfect. And this is, again, it's like with the whole thing, like trust self, trust timing. Like we've both gone through, like, this is also why you're lover boy. This is why you love so much, because of how you're creating and your songs and your music. Oh my God. And it's similar, with all the stuff I've been through. The way I've survived is because it's a joke.
Wow, I don't think I've ever resonated with the sentence more. Yeah, yeah, because of the
Oh,
silliness and the humor. It's been a way of surviving. Um, Yet it's also one of the biggest gifts. And just on that note as well, like the me being a lover boy and me, all of this love has to have somewhere to go, and you can either channel it as an empath or a soul full of love, which we all have. It depends on how connected you are to it, but
mm.
you can channel it inward into singular romantic relationships like I've done for the last 5 years. And all of that depth is funneled into one person, which, by the way, will eventually make them leave because it's too intense. I'm not saying that's entirely why they left, but I'm sure there's reasons for that.
But it might be why they're blocked.
It is. And why I'm probably blocked as well. Let's not get this twisted. But now realizing that all of that depth, we both, like, for me, I am such an emotionally deep person, and I'm also like a teenage boy with no emotions at the same time. But that emotional depth needs, and that gravity needs somewhere to channel. So if I'm channeling it on building what all of these things that are now happening in my life, that depth has so many places to go, and your life will become more and more expansive instead of just channeling all that love on one person. And when you channel it like this across eventually thousands plus, you're so, and I'm saying this from my experience, but everyone has the opportunity to do that, and you are so powerful in that.
100%. And it's so amazing to like have met you. And I don't think we would have connected. Um,
How
I
did we
think
meet?
no, well, I'm more going to, I think this is how and why we've reconnected. Because I think
Mm,
actually we stopped hanging out when you started being in relationships.
yeah.
And I think that's partially because now I am, because this was something I was thinking about, is we can't call ourselves anxious attached or anxious
Avoiding.
avoidant. We cannot label ourselves these things. Look how serious I'm like, this is to the person listening. You are not a label. You sometimes will have a tool that is keeping your love safe. You think that that
Mm,
is keeping you safe. You are not anxious attached. You are not uh, a
yeah,
what's
that's
the other
such
one? What's the
intimate.
other one that I kept saying I was?
Avoidant.
Avoidant.
Avoidant attachment. Yeah.
And you just said as well, didn't you? You were like, it's intellectualizing a pattern,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
We are not those things.
Mm,
It was a pattern that felt safer than love.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I have only been avoidant because I thought that was saving them and saving me. You were doing what you were because that you thought that was saving them and saving you.
Yes.
But love in its truest powerful form, and I'm having like my whole body's gone alight right now while I'm
Yeah.
saying this.
Tell
Oof,
me.
is the freedom in not needing anything to already be love.
Mm,
We are all regulated. We are all, and I always forget the word for it. When you're like, basically, what is it when you're balanced, when you're fully balanced in love? You're in a relationship and you're like co regulated, or
in symbiosis.
I don't know, but it's like, so not attached and not
Oh,
um,
securely.
secure.
Yeah.
So,
And not it's not co-regulation, interdependent.
yeah.
Yeah.
So when you're able to like regulate yourself and just realize that like you are love, like everything is love.
Hmm.
It's just the way that we've believed that we have to get it or give it.
Yeah.
But if you already are it and you meet someone else who's just is love,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's all that we are. You
Yeah.
just it's about letting go of these like attachments that we're giving ourselves.
Yeah.
Hi, nice to meet you, I'm an avoidant. No, hi, nice to meet you. I've been through some shit. Like I'm on a path. And when you meet the person who is also in alignment and you're in alignment and you're just doing your thing, they're the relationships that just click. And it isn't like, oh, I wonder why they're doing that. It's because like probably energetically both people aren't quite landed yet.
Yeah,
Or it's going to feed
completely.
each other's false masks that you're giving
Oh
yourself, or,
God, yeah.
you know,
It
it's a
becomes
type.
performative, and there's attachment that happens, and the law of detachment is so powerful when it comes to conscious love, especially.
Mm.
But we all have programming from a young age of like, as soon as it falls into the romantic category, at least in my brain, something switches on. And in the past, my patterning, as soon as it's in a romantic container, is to hold on to it. And sometimes that might have even come up as not controlling behaviors, but like just willing it to work. And I will like
Mm.
stay and keep, and I'm not vibrating at a loving frequency if I continue to stay, and over time lose myself within trying to hold on to something that's not even
Mm.
like love is letting go.
Yeah. And also, like, going back to me saying, you know, this is the perfect timing for us to have met, is
Yeah,
because you are now being like, which I'm loving seeing this with your ego in a good way.
yeah.
You love you.
Oh yeah,
I love me so
so
much
much. Yeah.
that
Oh my
there
god.
isn't this whole like we're not going to each other. Oh yeah, match with someone the other day and this that. There's no time.
There's no time.
There's no
We haven't had a
time.
single conversation about that. We
No.
went straight to fucking quantum physics. Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, because we're going to meet the people when we
yeah,
meet the people. And
yeah.
another thing I was
We
going to
know it.
say, and that's with identity, is when you fully actualize and you're like, I'm actually a bit of a baddie. My thing that I was going to say that I'm saying to my friend at the moment all the time is he says to me all the time, he's like, oh, do you think you'd be able to do that? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, have you ever done it before? And I'm like, no. I believe I can
Yes.
do anything.
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 Yes.
Crochet, sure. Ride I don't know, ride a jet ski, yeah, of course. Or
Can you
horse
just
riding.
just out of interest, can you pinpoint it? Is this was there like a specific time recently where that just shifted, or is that just like really slow? Like, do you even know when that shift happened? Because I feel the same. Like there's a like a webinar I'm hosting next week, and the week after that I'm hosting a mentorship container for 5 weeks. I have not done any of this before. I haven't, full transparency, I haven't even finished the mentorship structure yet. And 2 days before, when I'm offering it, probably haven't even finished it. And that's not because I'm slapdashing it. It's, I fully trust that I'm meant to channel the information I channel, and I trust my ability so deeply that I take action and I see what the responses are, and then I act reactively with full self trust. And I'm just like, when did I become this person? And I
It's
wonder if you
incredible.
know, if it's just feels so peaceful and simple. I
It's
wonder
Saint Audacity.
it's an audacity, but I wonder if you, so for me, I'm just like, it's probably because I had an ego death in March, and then like I'm just different since then, and I rebuilt my new self. But for you, I'm just so interested to know when that happened, and if you've always been Queen King Audacity.
I think I always believed I could, and it was everyone else that believed I couldn't
Yeah.
because they couldn't. But in like resonance to what you're saying,
Yeah.
I have been asked to be a mentor. So I have
Of course you have.
my first, what's it called? God, my brain today on this part of it. I'm like, what's that thing called?
It's all right. I'm here
Um,
to hopefully translate.
I have my first student
Yes.
for one-to-ones with
Yes.
being a hair artist.
Amazing.
Incredible. Starts next week. So give me a
Wonderful.
DM if anyone else is interested out there. And
Yeah.
this is a kid. So it's going to be fabulous. We're going to be doing like out of the box thinking, creativity, hands on.
Innovative.
Um, Totally. And then I also, this was like an aligned moment where I was doing someone's hair who's in publishing in film. And a part of me just went, go and ask them. Ask them if they want a hand. I went, do you need a hand with anything? And they were like, art direction, coordinator.
I'll
Here's a
put you on the
contract.
credits. Here's a contract.
So now I'm working in film.
And this
Never
is
done it
just
before
the
in my life.
beginning, my friend. It doesn't matter.
Had a Zoom, and I was like, I've got some ideas, yeah. What we're gonna do, right? We're gonna do this thing. And they were like, great, yeah, that's great, Lex. That's great. Anything else? And I was
The
like, well, I
audacity.
think but it's we know.
Yeah.
Again, is this another timeline?
I have
But
no idea.
I don't know.
I'm loving it, whatever it is.
But I think we
It's not
all
ego
have this.
either.
No. I'm
It's
not doing it because
embodied
I'm like, oh, I
confidence.
can't wait for people. Like, it's the first time I've mentioned it. I'm not putting it online. No.
No, yeah.
No.
Wild. Absolutely
Isn't it?
wild. I can't put a finger on what it specifically is. And if I look back, I just wonder if I had so many um, suffering based, heart crushing experiences, or I experienced, let's call it contrast. I experienced so much contrast in a heightened space of time over the 4 years of me being in relational spaces
Mm.
that I came out of that. And especially the last situation that happened recently, something in my brain snapped, and something in my brain snapped, and something, my survival self is not there anymore. And I've said this a few times, like there's a part of me that did exist that doesn't exist anymore, and that was the part of me that was stopping me from doing all of these things.
Mm.
So if that protective ego or survival self has disappeared, all that's left is forward momentum and belief.
I feel that. And
Yeah,
it's also for myself, I think, because I've let go of grieving, I've realized that all there is living. And what you believe, if you believe you can't do it, you're right. If you
yeah,
believe you can't do it, you're right. And I am always right. This is what's wrong with me. I'll put my hands up straight away. I think if the music's wrong in a space, I'm like, the music's wrong. The light's too bright. This should be this. It's so annoying, but I'm so particular with everything.
yeah.
But also, if somebody says to me, well, my opinion is, I'll be like, fair
Fair
enough.
enough. Yeah, of course.
I'm
Yeah,
not like
you're not a
rude with
dick.
it.
Yeah.
But that's where Saint Audacity has come from, is I'm a bit like, yeah, I could crochet. Because
Yeah.
everyone can do anything with enough time.
Yeah, completely. And you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Also, you pointing out and being like, this needs to be this, you're such a director of art. You're such a director of identity. And that confidence of like, I know that this is how it should pan out is leadership.
Mm.
So whether that, and it's going to, for you, 100% believe, and you know this anyway, it's going to expand from just being hair. And I think the umbrella is just going to be creativity, or it's just going to be expression, or it's just going to be identity. And just you and your experience and who you are in your essence is going to, like, you don't even know how amazing it's going to get.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And like, I urge people out there, if you don't have a pal who is as outrageous as you hear us speak to each other, being like, mate, you and where
Go
you're
and find
going,
one.
yeah, go and find someone who is outrageous.
Yeah. And be
Because
outrageous together.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And I'm sure what we will do is host a gathering or something at some point and do one of these live.
Absolutely.
Because, we've just got to get all these silly nuggets in a room together. Because it's not going to happen sitting in your house looking at other people being ridiculous.
No.
You've just got to get out there.
Completely.
And let's start wrapping up. And I'm
Yes.
going to ask the final question, because
Okay.
we could talk for 5 years.
Yes. How
Is
long is it? Doesn't matter.
so
Doesn't
yeah,
tell me. We'll figure it out at the end.
yeah. And so 3 practices
Oh.
to take away
Mm-hmm.
for people who are going through the thing at the moment where the year of the snake, symbolism, right? The shedding of the old, and there's that last bit and it's just stuck on there. 3 things suggested,
Mm-hmm.
action based or whatever, for someone to do if they're feeling a bit stuck. this last week.
Maybe we should both answer this as well, because I'd love to hear your answers for this. As we're in the last 2 years of this collective energy shifting, I would suggest, if you're feeling stuck, the first thing to do is actually the opposite of what you think I might say. Sit with it, feel it, and rest. If you feel purging coming up, do not force yourself to be in an action forward, momentum based timeline when that's not what this time is here for. Sit with it and rest and feel. That's the first way of you getting out of being stuck, is to actually face what's coming up. You need to journal, you need to channel through what's coming up in terms of shedding. Acceptance with what is coming up as well, and not trying to force anything to be what it's not. Yeah, to be honest, all of my answers, I keep wanting to lean towards, but then you can just like shake it off and go for a run. But I just don't think that's what these last 2 weeks are for. Obviously, I think for me, I've metabolized so much of this snake year and shedding that I feel like I'm ahead of the course in a way. And I'm like, I'm moving forward, but like not all of us. And there's some days that I don't feel that way still. But for those that are still wrapping up the lessons, you have to trust the pace that you're in right now, because otherwise you'll be forcing yourself out of alignment too quickly. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think this is great. I'm writing it down because I'm like, I'm still trying to do.
Yeah.
And actually, like what I had yesterday, like I was saying, I keep saying like when I went through that existential, mate, when all my feelings came up and I was like, what are they?
It's part of it, mate.
I just had to sit there.
Yeah.
I had to sit there and rest with it.
Rest and digest.
3 hours. I just sat there and was like...
And then the amount of existential epiphanies that you had, you're like, oh, that's why. And if you'd have just distracted or pushed forward, you wouldn't have had those realizations and you wouldn't have expanded. That the level, what I'm really loving with you, especially at the moment, is just the level of, and this applies to anyone listening, be as self-reflective as you can for these next 2 weeks. This is the last chance you're really going to get it, because the healing, and this is very black and white, you know, there are other arguments of like we're constantly healing and we can be self-reflective whenever we want, but there is a particular energy at the moment that's going to shift, and it's going to be less easy to tap into healing self-reflective energy, and we're going to feel more pushed to take action. And for a lot of people, like for me, I feel like when we move into March onwards, my sitting in bed every day and tending to my inner child and having therapy for my inner kid, bye.
There's gonna be no time for that. You're gonna be on stage.
No, yeah, mate. Like I'm fucking ready. Yeah,
there's gonna be no time.
And yeah, my inner child wants to come out on stage, and beautiful. That's part of the forward momentum. But things for everyone listening, we're at this time. This is so poignant of me to say, and some of the things I've said on this podcast is so funny. I feel as though we're at a really special time in history. There's something that tells me like we are moving into a new energy, and what your life feels like now, if you're tapped into this energy that we are, your life is going to be catastrophically, but not in a bad way, so different in a year. Like this time next year, you're just going to look at your life and be like, what the fuck? So that's all I'll say for this episode, because I could just keep talking for hours about it.
Right. And my 3, so this is just perfect. So like having the rest, you know, writing things down, accepting that you said, and mine is actually, because the gut and the brain is so connected, is simplifying what you eat. So taking away, you know, like dopamine food sometimes can be
the chocolate,
but it's also like you have a thing with a thing with a thing with a thing, and there's like
corn sausages and hummus, mate, for me.
Lovely. But it's finding very easily digestible, simple food. And again, like I never I know that food is a touchy subject because it's comfort, you know, it's also like safe spaces. So I'm not saying change anything too much, but say, for example, if there's a day that you eat something because you're specifically bored, like maybe if you have like toast and then you'll have like I don't know, like chili jam before
Mm,
bed,
mm.
maybe just have toast without the stimulating thing
Yeah.
before bed, for example. This is just an idea.
Yeah.
So what I'm finding is because I'm not digesting really overly flavorful food, I'm being able to like think a bit clearer. And I
Well,
don't know if that's true.
I'm sure it is. Whatever we eat is connected to our mindset hugely.
And what was the other one? Oh, walking, just going for a walk and being out in the world, not looking at your phone and not having headphones in.
Yeah.
So overhearing people talk on your walks or just noticing like what things look like has been really helpful. Like getting little, just seeing the world a little bit has been
Yeah.
something that's been really helpful. And
Nature.
yes, I actually walked through a park home today, Brunswick,
Mm.
instead of walking up the street because I wanted to see large masses of bushes. I
Hmm.
was like, oh yeah, the bushes. And there was like birds tweeting. And I was like looking at all the organic shapes and like I
Yeah.
didn't have any music or anything. And I was
Mm.
like really looking at things.
Mm.
Um, and and I think I'm gonna go back to like what you were saying and honoring again full circle from the beginning of this podcast is like
Mm.
really like have space to feel now
Yeah.
because like you know like you've just said
Mm.
March is going to come through and it is going to be
Thick
like a
and fast.
stampede of action.
Yeah.
And it's not like prepare for the, it will gently
Yeah.
happen
Yeah.
because you'll take those little actions and those things will start happening and you can then be doing when it's warmer and it's spring, you know. But like you're saying, it's like rest. And I think this is why food for me, um, like I keep trying to look for rice cakes, mate. I can't find them anywhere. I
You
just
tried
want a
frog?
rice cake. Oh yeah. But I made like a miso soup today because miso
Mm.
is probiotic. So I had that with rice noodles. So I had like a broth so that
Mm.
it just digests and then I don't eat before bed, but I've got fresh mint tea instead of getting the bags.
Wow.
So I'm trying to simplify from additives because I feel like then my gut isn't processing. So that's a theory.
To a couple of things. Number one, I've just realised who you are, which is you're every member of Queer Eye. If you've seen Queer Eye, the program before, it's like every person in Queer Eye has a different role. And yours is like maybe not so much the house. I don't know if you're interested in like interior design, but like every other part you can do, including food. Like you are Queer Eye. But
Wow.
also, I'm intrigued to know before we end, what is it about food at the moment that you're so interested in? And is it because you know that if you get your food right, it will help elevate you even more?
The gut is the second brain.
Yeah.
There's science to that.
Yeah.
When we eat food that is heavy and full
And
of
carby.
carbs are okay.
Mm-hmm.
Carbs do give us energy, it's fine. And actually it's better to go to sleep, I think, for myself. Um having something like a proper piece of toast and butter than it is having um like sweet potato stew with tomato and lentils. If I eat that before bed, my stomach bloats,
Yeah.
it irritates the lining. It's like I've
It
just
calls
put a
anxiety.
disco in my belly. It's like a party. Like my belly's like, well, there's some chili, there's some like it's too much. Like I just need I don't want the acid to be like going nuts.
Crazy. Yeah.
So my plan at the moment is to create a really simplified, balanced pH nutritional system for the gut that promotes hair growth and cellular reconstruction and
Wow.
leaves space for channeling because your brain isn't digesting, you can then digest. Ah,
Oh my goodness, that sounds incredible.
and it's so real.
And that's so connected to your work as well. Like food
Yeah.
is a huge connection
It was
to,
love. Like
yeah,
that I if I think about it and I'm interrupting
yeah,
because I'm like, oh my God,
yes.
that was the love I learned in my cultures growing up was food. In both my cultures. Everything that I'm eating now is so both my cultures channeled, which is the Netherlands and Cyprus.
And I've just remembered as well, we're going to stop in a minute, but over the last however many years since I've known you, you quite regularly posted about your food experiences. And I'm just really putting the links together now of why that's so important
Yeah.
and how that's been so important for you.
I'm
Yeah.
going to be cooking for people, aren't I? It's going to be a dinner table.
Yeah. Really cool. Okay, I'm conscious of time, and my housemate has asked if they can talk to me. So the timing is, as always, perfect and divine. Um, what a beautiful episode. I can't be, I
Book
mean,
link.
yeah,
The
amazing.
book will be linked.
The the book will be linked. Also, the podcast that you were talking about earlier, if you can remember, and also your talk. I'll link all of them. Um, and I hope anyone listening and who's got this far has a really inspiring, creative week
Yeah. Leave a little comment. It'd be nice to see if people are resonating.
for sure.